Hi everybody! I've got about 10 minutes till my mum appears. So I've done all my hoovering and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to check in and tell you thank you for all your support this week, and just to let you know I'm really fine. In fact, I'm better than fine now. All your support made such a big difference, and I am back to it with a vengeance. The house is clean and tidy, Dexter's homework's done, all the cooking is done for the weekend, the fridge is full, and I have done lots of work this week. And I just wanted to tell you as well, I've got a new favourite oil. So Indian valerian, so Valerian Wallichai, Wallichai, I don't know, yeah. So I kind of first discovered it when I was researching the spikenard book, because it was one of the plants that in the 1800s, when the East India Tea Company sent out all the botanists, there was lots of discussion as to what the nard of the ancients might have been. And for a while, I was fairly convinced that this might be the nard that they'd use for Christ's feet. But as it went on, I was happy that it was spikenard, and I loved writing that book. It was such an interesting trail through everybody's letters and stuff like that. But it did leave me very interested in Valerian Wallichai, not least because in the spikenard book you'll see it's compared against spikenard and normal valerian, whatever we call it, is it Valerian officinalis, for sleep. And this baby won hands down by a long stretch. So I have been helping a couple of people with sleep, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat me and them to what's supposed to be the best of the best. And do you know, I hate childproof caps because I can't get them off. What does that tell you? It's much nicer than normal valerian, not so dirty feetish. It's got a light, almost, it's still notably valerian, you can tell it's valerian, but it's kind of more floral, almost kind of lemony. I absolutely love it, and it is like drugs. In fact, I put it in Dexter's bath because frankly he needs a sledgehammer at the moment. There's just no please be quiet. So I went, oh, I put some magic eels in your bath. The next one I was going, Dex, wait up. He's going, walking to school, he's going, oh, my levers are tired. I think I might have put a little bit too much in his bath, but he tells me this is the stuff. So I put some in my bath, and yes, I don't think it makes you go to sleep any quicker, but it certainly makes you sleep deeper and longer. So please make sure you set your alarm, because there's no waking up without it. And yeah, just to have a mix ready for the morning in the shower. You need a bit of rosemary or some orange or something that's going to snap you out. And so I think, so yeah, something that will unlock the benzodiazepine receptors which have kept you asleep. So Wallichai, definitely. Obviously this one, I'm like a big advert for Oshadi, aren't I, today? So yeah, this is an Oshadi one, but I think you can get it from lots of different places. I just happen to, I do like the way their bottles look in my drawer. Yeah, also just to tell you how exciting the research is in this book. I didn't really want to, books write themselves. They do. You can plan them as much as you like, but then eventually when you read them at the end you go, well, that doesn't look anything like I thought it was going to at the start. And one of the first things that's happened to this book is it's become extremely focused on what we know about the sense of smell. Because, you know, it's really interesting. I qualified in 1993 when dinosaurs roamed the earth, but it wasn't until 2004 that the olfactory receptor, the receptors that do our sense of smell, was elucidated. It wasn't really discovered till then. And Oh, now. A lady called Linda Buck and somebody, Axel, maybe Richard Axel, might have got that wrong, but they won the Nobel Prize in 2004 for the olfactory receptor and the work that they've done on it. So that's extremely interesting. But also there's so much information now into how smell and depression are linked, and so that's just fascinating. And I'll be honest with you, yesterday I wrote one sentence because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna read that, oh my god, that's so interesting, I'm gonna read that, I'm gonna write that. And so I've got loads and loads in the notebook's looking healthy, but the book itself didn't grow much yesterday. But my goodness, you're gonna love it, especially if, like me, you've been qualified for a long time. And it's so weird that aromatherapy could be the spectacular thing that it is when we know so little about smell, really. But one of my favourite pieces of information that I learnt yesterday, and this is the one sentence that got written, is about the thalamus. Now, let me tell you about the thalamus first, before I explain why it's important, because it'll become obvious. So the word thalamus actually means room. Okay, so in effect it's right in the middle of your brain, and the thalamus is in charge. It regulates our consciousness. And so we're not talking about philosophical consciousness, we're talking about actual consciousness, whether you're conscious or unconscious, but also sleep and awareness and arousal. So let me tell you about the bit that I did write. So what's really interesting is that the sense of smell is the only sense that doesn't go through the thalamus. So why is that interesting? Well, if you think about it, that means that it passes consciousness. And breathing itself, if you think about it, is an unconscious action. If I say don't smell, you have to hold your breath. There's no other way of doing that. So eventually your body goes, well, I've got to smell because I've got to filter the air that's coming in and out of the body. So there's no way to control the sense of smell. You can't avoid the sense of smell. And yeah, so just really, really interesting. So if you think about the fact that if you're reading a book and you're really focused on the book, then I could say to you, what do you want for your tea? And you go, probably not hear me, because you're really focused on the book. If it's one of my books, obviously, then you wouldn't hear me because it's so interesting. But so any book would be the case if you were focused, and that's thanks to the thalamus, right? So but if I wafted some orange oil under your nose, you go, oh, orange, because you can't get past that. It will filter into your imagination. Likewise, because the thalamus governs sleep, you don't really get disturbed by smell if you're asleep. So imagine, and this is really why, and I'm going to say, this is my public notice, my public message, people, you need a smoke alarm, because you can't smell smoke when you're asleep, because your thalamus has got you asleep and it's bypassing it. Your brain won't focus, it won't actually register the smell of the smoke. The only time you'll become aware of the smoke is if it becomes very warm around you, if you start to cough because you're getting suffocated by the smoke, or it's stinging your skin and eyes because it's come so much. So the only way that you can disturb yourself from sleep is by the sound of an alarm. Isn't that incredible? Now, one of the other things that I discovered that probably won't make it into the book because it's not very relevant to what you and I are trying to achieve about learning about how the oils are actually working on the body. This isn't relevant, but it's still really interesting, is that scientists now, and I say now, I think this clinical trial was actually published December 2017, so it is now, trying to work out, well, how does smell actually come into our consciousness? So they wanted to measure it by sleep. So they used some brain, what are they called? EEGs, using the EEGs, and they monitored in somebody while they were sleeping, and they were able to see that their brain would register smells when they were in the fast wave stage, but not when they were in the slow wave stage of sleep. So the deeper that you go into the sleep, then it's not likely that you will smell something. You say that won't make it in the book because it's not relevant to what we're trying to do, but isn't that amazing? It's really incredibly interesting, the stuff that they're doing. So anyway, I'm hoping that I can have the imagination to try and kind of keep you up to date with this, because I'm hoping that the book won't take me very long, but judging from the little amount that I wrote yesterday, there's too much to learn for it to be quick. So even though I promised myself I'd never do a cannabis book, I can see it happening again. But yeah, so what? It's really exciting, isn't it? So that's me. I want you to say thank you for everything that you've done, kicking my ass and getting me back to work. And just, I felt very appreciated last week, so thank you. And to say, OCD's going to love me, they should put me on commission. This stuff, Indian Valerian, Valeriana wallichi, Wallichi, from Nepal, the roots, wild grown. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And if somebody's not sleeping, this is your answer to your prayers. And to say, yeah, you probably won't hear much from me, not because there's anything wrong, because everything is great. So anyway, guys and gals, have a lovely weekend. It's going to rain here, so I think I'll be studying. Take care of you.